Hi everybody, it's Monday. We're on the floor of the New York Stock Exchange with Jim Cramer. All right, Jim, stock's moving higher off of your interview with Larry Kudlow.
Yeah, I mean, Larry pretty much laid it out that optimism, that there's no reason to really be concerned. Now, he did say that the markets, it hasn't really hurt the markets to some degree, and my problem with that is that empirically, the averages are down. But Larry worked with me for many years, and we shared a love for growth and a love for optimism. Larry doesn't think that the growth is going to be hurt by what we're doing, but that we have to do it. Now, obviously, to me, it seemed like that there's a bit of a carve-out that Larry's willing to accept tariffs on China, where before I think his position was much more nuanced, which was, maybe sometimes we have to protect industries and accept the fact that they're going to be taken over. Protect industries by actually paying the companies, paying the steel companies. Now, obviously, a Nucor, which is a holding for action alerts, doesn't want to be paid. They just want to be able to have a level playing field. So remember, steel, aluminum, very different from some of these others. David Faber asked a really good question: is why would tariffs necessarily change intellectual property theft? And I think we're all struggling with that. I think that Larry's struggling with that, but I applaud Larry's view, and I think it's very important as someone who believes in fair trade that we stop it in terms of giving China the free ride, and they have had a free ride worldwide.
Well, and he said that President Trump is a free trader himself.
Right. Well, remember, we gave Chinese the designation of being a less developed country, and that was just really a big mistake. And if anything, China's an uber-developed country, and I think that that's also an issue. Now, it was interesting. I mean, I asked him about NAFTA, and I thought that was a very optimistic view of NAFTA. I'm being concerned, and I've said one of the biggest risks besides China is that perhaps the president says we should walk away from NAFTA. And Larry confirmed that Canada's a good actor, but he didn't blast Mexico or take my theory about the 18-to-1 versus the 4-to-1 peso as being something that made it so that there has to be a radical revision. So there was a lot of optimism, and this market spiked on that, and I think it's really important to recognize that that Larry's view was one which says maybe we're overly fearful. A piece that I have in Real Money today says the same thing.
Yeah, well, in that piece, you talk about the strength of apparel stocks amid all these China worries.
Well, what I talk about there are stocks that are going up dramatically, even though we hear that China could really hurt them in tariffs. Meaning, what I'm saying is that a lot of the retailers, people have said, wait a second, be careful. Like a Walmart, they source so much in China. We don't know how much they source in China. But the one thing is certain is that the stocks that have been the strongest are the ones that allegedly source in China. I mean, it's the department stores, it's the rest of the mall. Now, it's very possible, as Matthew Boss says this morning, look, the retail is very strong. That certainly doesn't jive, by the way, with what we're hearing about retail in general by the book, but the aggregate, say, Commerce Department numbers. But you get strong retail, you get strong housing, you get strong auto, and all of a sudden you have a pastiche that says, before you sell everything because of world trade, maybe you should listen to Larry and get a bridge. He's a bridge to where we get the earnings per share. And I think that that's another reason why the market's up big.
All right, earnings season kicks off later this week, so we'll watch that. Meanwhile, Jim, Novartis buying Avexis. What did you think of that?
Well,
deal? I
don't know. I mean, this is squarely in the crosshairs of Biogen, which has that great deal with Ionis. And this is a drug that was really the big driver for Biogen. This is Spinraza, the Novartis drug, the drug of the company that Novartis bought. Right now seems to have a superior profile, which would definitely cut into Biogen. This is a $750,000 first-time drug, Biogen's drug. So it's really interesting to see. This is Biogen's chief blockbuster, and if you own Biogen, you got to rethink your game.
Yeah, Avexis shares up over 70%
well,
today.
I mean, a lot of this is the big short position. Citron came out a couple years ago and said that at the end of the year that this stock could be at this year the stock could be at 5. I don't know whether people followed Andrew Left on that. He was right about Mallinckrodt. He was right about Valiant. But I think if he's using a $5 price target, we have to consider him wrong in retrospect of this bid.
All right, well, what about Stephen Tusa's price target on GE?
Well, he won't let it go. And I think one of the reasons why he won't let it go, even though the stock has stopped going down, it looks to me, although honestly, I own the stock, so personally, I got paid in some GE stock. But Tusa, I think, was clarifying a piece that he wrote last week where a lot of people felt that maybe, just maybe, he was putting a little, let's say, gray area on how negative he is. And this piece was about, don't believe that, I'm just as negative, maybe I'm more negative, that the dollar number is just not going to happen, it's way overdone. This was a clarifying piece. No, I'm not getting bullish, I'm not turning, and I think it's important to recognize that Tusa's got a huge following.
All right, meanwhile, Jim, I want to remind everyone that your monthly Action Alerts Plus call is this Thursday, 11:30.
This is going to be a really explosive call. So those who watch on the free ride here, join the club, try out the club. I don't think you're ever going to hear anything like it. Anything. And this is something that is listened to by thousands of people. I want you to listen to, too.
And you work so hard on it.
Oh, my God. Wednesday night will be an all-nighter.
Oh, God. All right. Go to actionalertsplus.com to join the club.